Welcome to the Worst of the Riot podcast. Coming up, how people are using broccoli in an unexpected way.
Also, girls are declaring themselves Boysober in 2024. And more on the Worst of the Riot podcast.
By my best friend in the whole wide world, Isaiah. Say hi, Isaiah.
Hi.
Say it like you're being held hostage or something.
Feels like it this morning.
It does,
It feels
doesn't it?
like it.
Today, let's have the conversation so many people are going to have today. How's daylight savings time treating you?
Same as everybody else. I don't feel good.
Not good?
No, I don't feel good. I had to wake up earlier.
Is that how it works?
An hour earlier.
I feel like it's I guess you're right, isn't it?
Well, if you normally wake up at 7,
Uh-huh.
7 is now 6.
Right. So that means, yeah, I didn't feel that.
I
I'm the one
did.
person. I'll be the one person to say, didn't bother me too much. It was light. It was light so long last night. And then today, didn't really notice.
Did you stay up the same amount of time last night or go to bed when you usually do?
When I usually do when it's not daylight savings time.
Precisely.
I
Like
stayed
last
up.
night, I went to bed at 10:30.
Yeah.
Which
yeah.
is the time that I usually go to bed, but now it's 11:30.
Oh, see, I went to bed at like 10:30 regular time, which is an hour later then. So I'm real. I should be real thrown off, but I feel good. But I will tell you that for many people today, not a good day. Today, and there's no exact conclusion drawn as to why, but the Monday after daylight savings time notoriously people experience more heart attacks, strokes, and car accidents today. Today's a bad day for that, for some reason. Something about setting the clocks forward.
You messed up your routine, probably.
Yeah. Driving at normal times when maybe you're a little unusual times when you're maybe a little more bleary-eyed than normal can explain the car accidents explainable. The heart attacks and strokes, not sure why it would be related to moving the clocks, but nevertheless, that is a big downside that comes to moving with the clocks. Also, the less sleep. But I guess the good news is now we get some sunshine at nighttime.
I like that.
Yeah. What do you think the odds are that we never switch them back?
Switch back the clocks?
Yeah.
That's what I was going to ask. Is that the last time we're doing that?
Not that I
Or
know
are we
of.
doing it again?
Yeah, I think unless something happens in the next several months, I think we're moving them. We have to move them back again. Foolishly. Foolish as it may be.
See, I've always thought that we were done. For whatever reason, I thought this year was our last year doing this.
Yeah, I wish it was. There's a few intrepid maverick states out there that have gone their own way and done away with it. I couldn't even tell you which ones those are right now. Maybe if I had to guess, Indiana, Arizona. Not exactly sure. But it feels to me that until the entire country, like Congress, is like, yes, let's do this, then every state is like, well, we'll do it, but only if they also do it, and so, because everybody doesn't want to be like thrown off for half the year.
But isn't it weird that none of us are at the same time anyway?
Yeah, but you think
like in California, it's 3 hours different right now.
Yeah, than Ohio and most the East Coast. Yeah, but then it would be 4 for part of the year if some state is like, I don't want to switch them back.
Yeah,
then
but
all
does
of a
that
sudden they're
matter to
4.
you?
Well, then they're like then you could drive from Pennsylvania. If Pennsylvania switches, for example, then you drive from Pennsylvania to New York, you're switching an hour, and it's confusing. It is confusing.
Yeah, but
Time
I think
zones are already confusing.
Would it really affect my day-to-day life? No. How many times do I cross the border?
Yeah.
Where all of a sudden I'm like caught off guard, like, oh my gosh, how did I end up here? And the time's different. I just happened to cross.
Your phone will just do that for you anyways.
Exactly.
So, yeah, I don't know. Yeah, you could be right. Why don't we? Let's just do it. Hey, why don't you and I just do it?
We could.
We're not switching our phones. We're not switching back. This is it for us.
But I like it how it is now, though.
Yeah, no, let's leave it this way.
Leave it the way
Definitely.
it is now.
Yeah.
We don't need to change it back to where it's dark at night.
Yeah, let's stick with this.
Do yourself a favor and follow The Riot on Instagram at RadioU Riot.
Isaiah has your useless knowledge question of the day.
Pretzels are a big part of one holiday in specific, especially at the gathering. What holiday is this?
When I think about pretzels, the holiday that comes to mind, and this is obvious, Oktoberfest.
Easter.
Easter.
In many people's households, they're even hidden in the same way as Easter eggs. The pretzel.
In many people's households.
In many people's households.
Which people's households?
I don't know, but widely online, all over the place, this whole Easter thing. I've never heard of that in my life.
No, me neither.
There were lots of videos of just children grabbing pretzels
Well, you know,
from behind trees.
as an adult, I feel like I'd be more. Wait, hard pretzels or soft pretzels?
Both. Just depends on what kind of family you have.
I think as an adult, I'd be more excited about a soft pretzel
At some of the luxury houses.
than jelly beans.
Soft.
Yeah, for sure.
Let's do some rapid fire. 80% of the pretzels sold in the U.S. are made in what state?
Pennsylvania.
Very good.
Yeah, used to live right next door.
Fitting with its origin of name, the pretzel name comes from the word pretiola, which means
Hug bun.
Wait for it. Here it comes.
little rewards. Little rewards.
Got it.
How about this one? We all love Annie Ann's.
Yeah, we do.
The original soft pretzel has been overtaken by another menu item. Which menu item is now their number one item? It is not the soft pretzel.
It must be. I've got it down to 2. Probably the pretzel nuggets. Yeah.
Very good. I like my Annie Ann's with a little cinnamon on top.
Yeah, those are good. That might be the premier way to enjoy Auntie Anne's. But you know what? I don't know if I've ever had Auntie Anne's and it not been great.
Oh, Auntie Anne's hits every time.
It is just one. I mean, it's a shame there's not more of them.
But just talk about like going to the mall and like you're already wasting money buying things.
Yeah.
And then you're going to get this soft pretzel you don't need.
Yeah, it's very little nutritional value, but some things aren't just about nutritional value. They're about emotional value. and how they
There's a
make you
lot in
feel.
that.
Yes, there is.
The only thing Isaiah loves more than the riot is himself.
Someone who probably still lives with his mother and hates himself.
You're listening to The Riot on Radio U.
Last night, Hollywood's biggest night is the Oscars. Isaiah, did you watch any of the Oscars?
I did not watch a second of it.
No, that's fine because I'm here to recap it for you. I watched the entire thing. I've got my list of good and bad. I guess we can start by saying Oppenheimer won Best Picture. Christopher Nolan won Best Director for Oppenheimer. And Emma Stone and Cillian Murphy won the Best Actor and Actress awards. Here's my good and bad. 1, good that it started early. Typically, they start the Oscars at 8 Eastern. This year, 7 Eastern. It still ran long, but starting early, it lets everybody, on the East Coast go to bed. It also gives them more space to have. They had a lead-in to Abbott Elementary. I didn't stay and watch that, but I'm sure many people did. Bad. I hope you're ready for this. In Memoriam wasn't good. You know what that is?
Yes, I know what that is.
In Memoriam, typically at the Oscars, if you're watching on TV, they'll kind of mostly just show the clips of the actors and the pictures of the people that are like behind the scenes folks that passed away in the past year. And it's set to some emotional performance song that's usually very good. This year, though, the problem with it was that they never went full screen with the people that they were displaying that had passed away. And so instead you're seeing the stage, you're seeing the view of the screen that the people at the actual awards are seeing, but it's not a good angle. So you can't make out a lot of the names. And meanwhile, you're looking at this performative dance. And so if they just had the screen set up the right way to where you would just actually be seeing Carl Weathers, Matthew Perry, Paul, whatever, the people that have passed away, it'd be very emotional because the song was well done. Andrea Bocelli and his son, but just the setup of it for TV, not good. Don't know why they did it that way. Good, all the music. The music was great. I'm Just Ken brought the house down. There was a special cameo, Slash. That was pretty cool. Everybody loved it. Bad. There was, they did this new thing where for all of the actor awards, there's 4 of them. Instead of having 1 or 2 people come out and be like, here's the nominees and give some little speech and then give the awards, they had 5 previous winners of each award come out and give like a supposed heart-to-heart little
5?
Yeah.
Way too many.
Yeah. And some of them were like kind of nice, but I mean, all of them were too serious generally. And then like some of the people were clear, like Jennifer Lawrence was the one that was standing up for Lily Gladstone from Killers of the Flower Moon. She was clearly reading. It wasn't even like, oh, this is like she's speaking from her heart. She was reading it off a teleprompter. It was too long, not a big waste of time. That was not a good format for that. Good, though. Here's some real good stuff. Isaiah, you'll like this. Naked John Cena.
You said what now?
John Cena was naked on the stage.
Doesn't seem allowed.
Yeah. The reason for the bit, it was a bit, was that 50 years ago at the Oscars, there actually was a streaker on stage. And so it was like, we're commemorating it, and Jimmy Kimmel trying to talk John Cena into it. John Cena plays around like he has second thoughts about it, but then he does kind of scuttle out on stage, only covered by a giant envelope, a giant Oscars envelope, keeping him decent. So that was funny. It's a good bit.
It's why John Cena's like the funny guy now that'll do anything.
Yeah, that's right. And do anything to promote whatever that new movie, Ricky Stenicki. And then also good, John Mulaney. He recapped Field of Dreams in the best sound as presenting for best sound, which was wild, and got a good dig in there at Madam Web for those who are paying attention. Finally, this I guess I'll put in the bad category, but I don't even know. It was like lovably bad. Al Pacino closed out the night by presenting the Best Picture, and he's kind of sped through it. It's like he didn't have anything prepared. Nobody wrote anything for him, and so he literally goes, Best Picture. I had to go to the envelope for that, and I will. Here it comes. And my eyes see Oppenheimer. And that was literally, that's all he said in the way that only Al Pacino could. But very anticlimactic. It was very strange.
But that feels like if they had done all the awards that way, you wouldn't have been up so late last night.
Yeah, that's right. If they had Al Pacino instead of Jennifer Lawrence and Tim Robbins presenting all the awards, yeah, it would have been much, much quicker. But overall, a fun night. Not the most memorable Oscars. But if you're an Oscars fan, it did its job. So congratulations to all the winners. If you saw any of the Oscars, let us know what you thought at 8772 Radio U.
We're not sure who behaves worse, the Riot or their dogs.
I don't even know how to behave like a real human being.
The Riot, Radio U.
Isaiah, I don't know if you've seen this. There's a trend going on in the dating community among women that are declaring themselves Boysober.
Is that good?
Good for them, I guess. Boysober, if you just think about it for a second, it makes total sense. Boysober is where you just swear off of dating generally. But I do like the people that have pointed out that, like, for many women, and I guess for guys, sometimes this can be true too, is that even if you are single and you're not dating, you're often in a situationship. You've always got like kind of somebody that you're kind of mingling with. It's like a, something or, whatever. And so Boysober, if you're truly Boysober, that's like completely like the rules. There's rules to being Boysober. No dating apps, no dates, no exes, no situationships, and no hugs and kisses.
And how long are they doing this for? I feel like girls do this pretty frequently. I feel like this is a reoccurring thing. Like, I'm never going on a date for the next 3 months. I'm not talking to any more boys. And then like a week goes by.
Yeah. Then they're
feels like I've heard this before.
Horse, right back on the cart.
Feel like I've heard this before. The very first comment on this TikTok is, "I'm folding, sis."
It's tough. How can they resist the allure of men? I don't know. It's too tempting, but it's aspirational. It makes sense. Sometimes you do. You got to get sober. You got to clear your head before to really know maybe possibly what you want, instead of constantly having something that's a possibility. And I think that wears on you a little bit. So sometimes you gotta get clean. You gotta start over. You gotta get a fresh start. And so I like the Boysober idea, but I think Isaiah's right. If you're gonna start claiming this, particularly on social media, you got to be honest about it. Like
if you say this,
you got to stick to it.
If these words coming out of your mouth,
yeah,
you got to stick to this for a long time.
That's right.
I don't want to see you dating anybody.
I
don't want to see any dates.
Yeah.
No dating apps. None of that for multiple months. She said she's doing it for the whole year.
That's a big undertaking. But if here's the other thing. If you declare yourself Boysober and you stick with it for a while, and then somebody comes along that's just too much for you and you get drawn back in, then that might be the sign that that's a pretty good guy and that maybe it should work out. And maybe then Boysoberhood has served its purpose.
Don't you think that every time that they went Boysober and they've met some guy they thought was gonna figure it out, it's always ended badly? Because what happens? A couple months later, they're saying, I'm going Boysober again.
I don't know. You could say that about all relationships until you find,
for most men.
Like all relationships end badly till they don't.
For most men, they don't even choose to go girl sober.
That is true.
They just are girl sober.
We're not sure who behaves worse, the Riot or their dogs.
I don't even know how to behave like a real human being.
The Riot, Radio U.
Isaiah, I've got a side hustle for us, a money-making venture that we can get into. Step 1, we got to go barefoot all the time.
I'm
everywhere.
out.
Now, come on. It's going to be worth it. Listen.
No, I wasn't even barefoot as a child. I'm well known for not going barefoot. I can't go barefoot. I'm out on it.
You got to go barefoot.
I'm out.
It's integral to us making money this way.
I can't do this one.
Step 1, take your shoes off. Step 2, start an OnlyFans. Step 3, sell pictures of your feet that are always barefoot on OnlyFans.
It seems as if you're always trying to convince me to start an OnlyFans.
Yeah.
It's like once a week, you're like, you know what we need to do? Start an OnlyFans.
Because I want you to be financially stable. And I
don't want to start an OnlyFans.
I think this is a way. Listen to this. You could be making this guy here. Who's the fool? His name is George Woodville. He makes up to $1,200 a month selling pictures of his feet on OnlyFans. And what makes the pictures of his feet remarkable is that he has not worn shoes in 3 years, so his feet are pretty nasty. And most of the pictures of his feet, the ones that are big sellers, they're just him out in public places with his shoes off. And so you're seeing his dirty feet in like a park or whatever, and then he sells those. $1,200.
There's somebody who's buying them, which is even worse.
That's right. Yeah. So who's the fool here? I don't think you can blame him if people are willing to pay for it. But you do have to. He says the reason that he goes barefoot all the time is for his mental health. He says that 3 years ago he wanted to experience. This is a quote: "Experience the whole ground."
I don't even know what that means.
It means being barefoot, brother.
Experience the whole ground.
Yeah.
Like the dirt, the grass.
Yep. The linoleum when he's in stores. He says that like if he goes into stores and stuff, you usually just tell him like it's a medical thing, and I guess that works. And
I mean, yet again, those cash registers got to be like, what medical condition could you possibly have?
No, but
to where you can't wear shoes.
You don't want to be the cashier that gets shamed online for kicking this man out of your store either.
He's like, it's a medical condition.
Who's it really hurting for him to be barefoot in Walmart?
It's gross. Nobody wants to see that.
Somebody does. They're paying $1,200 a month for it.
Yeah, but I don't want to go through Walmart and see you barefoot next to me, touching the same floors as me. Like when he goes over to people's house, he would never be invited to my house.
Yeah.
Walk into my house with your bare toes out, no chance.
And they're not even
right back out the door.
They're not even clean bare feet.
No, they're dirty.
It's like some people take their shoes off in the house so that they don't track mud everywhere. This guy'd still be tracking mud everywhere by the looks of it. I'm just telling you, this is clearly a seemingly harmless way to make money. I don't know. Maybe it could be harmful feeding these people's addiction to dirty feet because that feels weird. I'll say it.
Feels like that shouldn't even be available to them.
Yeah. And I don't know why. There's nothing technically wrong with anything here, but it's just weird.
Disinformation, mispronunciations, bad impressions. That's Hudson. This is The Riot on Radio U.
Super Mario Brothers, obviously a smash success when the Super Mario Brothers movie came out last year. And now we know when we're getting a sequel, or at least another movie in the Mario Brothers universe. Looks like it's coming out in 2026.
I assume they came out with this yesterday because it was Mario Day.
That's right. Did you do anything special to celebrate?
I did not, but I knew that's what the day was.
Yeah, that's right. I forgot about that. That's exactly why they revealed this yesterday. You think 2026? It feels so far away, doesn't it?
It doesn't feel close.
It always feels to me, and I don't know if you have special insight on this because you work at a toy store, but like, you put out a movie, Mario Brothers, in 2023, clearly intended for children. And then by like the sequel not coming out till 2026, all those kids that were like 7 years old, prime Mario Brothers age, now they're going to be 10. Like to me, if I was putting out kids movies, I'd be putting them out like that. You got to have another one ready because the kids are going to keep wanting to watch it, you know?
One after another.
Yeah, before they get too old. I guess there'll be new 7-year-olds in 2026. But you know what I'm saying? It just feels like all the kids that love it now, maybe they'll be too old by the time the next one comes out.
But at the same time, if the movie's good, the movie's good.
Yeah.
And the last movie was very good.
It was good. Oh, did you see it?
I have not seen it, but I know a lot of my adult friends have seen it.
The adult friend, that's a key too. Because I saw it. It's okay. It was good enough to be like, for me, when 2026 comes around, am I going to go see it in theaters? I don't know. But am I going to watch it eventually? Yeah, especially if Jack Black is Bowser, then definitely, 100%.
And Jack Black is just constantly right now trying to be in the news, it seems.
Yeah. He's one of America's most lovable characters at the moment.
He is a lovable character, 100%. I don't know if you saw over the weekend, he also released a full cover of Baby One More Time by Britney Spears. Did you see that? I
didn't know if that was real.
Oh, it's real, buddy.
Oh, I got to listen to that.
It's good.
Yeah.
He's saying it similar to how he's saying in the Super Mario movie as Bowser.
I feel like I'm going to love that. Think about that. Think about how many people, how long is the list of people, if I told you they put out a cover of Britney Spears music, you'd be like, oh, I got to listen to that.
Very short.
I think you can count on both hands. But Jack Black is one of the people on that list, 100%. The new Mario Brothers movie coming out in 2026. You can look forward to that.
There's never been a can of worms they didn't open. The Riot, Radio U.
It's time for some conspiracy theories on the Riot. And this one Hudson's going to hold very close in his heart.
Okay.
I think you're going to like this one.
Convince me.
Have you ever heard of a place called Wakanda?
Yeah, of course.
For the movie Black Panther.
Uh-huh.
Well, the latest conspiracy theory making the rounds is claiming that we at one point in time on the planet of Earth had a similar society to Wakanda. Called Tartaria.
Oh, okay. I thought it was going to be like Atlantis.
That would be way cooler.
Yeah.
But I mean, that was obviously real. It's a conspiracy theory here.
Yeah.
But this highly advanced civilization was founded somewhere in Central Asia, and it created many things like the pyramids of Giza.
No, it did not.
That's what they said. That's what they claim. They said it was also powered by an unlimited renewable energy source and filled with architectural marvels.
Okay.
And you might be wondering what happened.
Yeah, I was wondering that. Where's this unlimited renewable energy source?
Well, it was wiped off the map by an apocalyptic event, obviously. Initial thoughts.
I mean, it sounds kind of kooky. Why did that get wiped out? And yet what? The pyramids of Giza stood the test of time?
Apparently so.
Yeah. But the people
didn't make it.
And their unlimited renewable energy source gone. Doesn't make a lot of sense to me.
Well, there are
all
some
that vast knowledge too.
There are some pretty big name people who believe in this one.
Oh, really?
Like jiu-jitsu legend and instructor Eddie Bravo.
Okay. Don't know who that is.
Well, he had a conversation with Aaron Rodgers, who spoke out on a podcast claiming that even he believed in Tartaria.
You're telling me the football player, my hero, my childhood hero, Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah, he's a fool.
He brought a Super Bowl to Green Bay. You couldn't do that, believe in that this kind of bunk, could you?
I can't believe
how many MVPs.
He said a lot of wild things. This might be the dumbest thing he's ever said.
Yeah, this is making me question everything. And I don't mean question whether I believe Tartaria is real. I mean everything I've ever believed about Aaron Rodgers.
All of a sudden,
yeah,
the pyramids of Giza are kind of big.
Yeah, so some of the other stuff I can let slide. Some of the wild things, as crackpot theories, is just running off at the mouth. I'm fine with it, but this is a little out there, even for him.
It also makes me laugh too because they go from they came up with incredible structures such as the pyramids of Giza to the White House. Like what? That doesn't make any sense.
How did it even get here? If it was in Central Asia, first of all. Second of all, those are very vastly different architecturally speaking, like way different.
The White House is like a normal building.
Yeah, that's right. Any architect, I mean, well, I don't know of any architect, but I don't know if it's particularly noteworthy.
Like if it fell down, we could rebuild that thing.
Yeah,
and it would look the exact same.
That's true. I don't know. The pyramids of Giza, we could figure it out, but
it would not be the same.
Yeah, I don't know if we'd want to. There's a lot of people died doing that.
Like I would love for something like this to be true.
Mm-hmm. Would you?
I think it could be cool.
Why?
It would make for an interesting little conversation for a couple of days.
Yeah.
If something like this came out and it was true, obviously they'd be gone now.
Yeah.
Because of that apocalyptic event. And it doesn't affect us, but it could change the history, the way we look at it.
Yeah.
But clearly this is just blasphemy.
Everything we know upside down. Also, if they had this unlimited renewable energy source, why, if that has any validity, why aren't we just constantly on the hunt for that? We really think that got wiped out completely?
And they would really waste their time building pyramids.
Yeah, right. I don't get it. Sorry, Aaron Rodgers. Hopefully he still wins.
He's making a fool out of you, man. You got to get on the line with him and tell him.
He's a good football player.
He's making a fool out of you.
Maybe this be the key to being a good football player, is believing nonsense.
There's never been a can of worms they didn't open. The Riot, Radio U.
This one feels like it might be close to your heart. I'll tell you why, because it revolves around freckles. And I know you got a few freckles on you.
I think I do have freckles, yeah.
Yeah, you're a freckly guy. So how do you feel about people using broccoli to give them faux freckles?
I know that freckles are in.
Yeah.
But why the use of broccoli? That makes no sense to me.
Because you think about the head of broccoli, right? Is that what it's called, a head?
Yeah.
You think about the head of broccoli, if you were to look at it and then put like the I guess, I don't know what the word is, concealer. I don't know. a dark shade of whatever, a darker shade. You put that on top of the broccoli and you kind of roll that over your cheeks there. It gives like the perfect naturally freckly look. It looks very convincing if you do it right. And so that is why like it's the perfect tool for giving yourself freckles.
I've never understood giving yourself freckles.
Why are you ashamed of your own freckles?
I'm not ashamed of it, but are freckles like cute? Do they add that much?
Apparently some think so, which is, I guess, ironic because in previous times, people would use makeup to possibly hide their freckles.
And now they want them?
Yeah.
And they're using broccoli to do it?
Well,
I've seen like the filters and stuff that give you freckles.
mm-hmm.
But I've never understood the lure of freckles.
I don't know. Well,
I've never looked at a woman and been like, her freckles. I mean, goodness gracious.
Yeah, I don't know. But I mean, it's not always about you. It's not always about appealing to us as men. But to me, it feels like a grass is always greener type thing. All the straight-haired girls want to have curls. All the brunettes want to be blonde. All the non-frecklers want to have freckles.
Like imagine walking in on your wife.
Yeah.
And she's got a big thing of broccoli. And she's pressing it against her face. And you're like, what are you doing?
Yeah. This is how you find out that her freckles were a lie the whole time.
The whole time you guys have been together.
Yeah. I thought you were... I fell in love with you because of your freckles. And now you drop this on me? How do we
Like,
go
let me ask you
on?
this.
What other lies have you told me?
Let me ask you this. Does your wife have freckles? Do you know?
I don't think she has prominent freckles. No, not noticeably.
I don't think E does either. But
Yeah.
yet again, I don't know. I
Does
can't be
it say
certain.
more about about the freckles, or does it say more about us?
See, I think that
that
talks
we
about
just don't even know?
It's the freckles because there's lots of things that I know about her.
But I know that you have some freckles.
I don't know how you know that. I don't even know if I have freckles.
Yeah, I've seen a few freckles on you. Feel like you're kind of freckly.
I don't know, man. I think I am.
You're not the most freckly, but you got a few.
I just think that it's one of those features that just people don't even notice. I can't name
unless
three
you
people.
unless you got a lot of freckles.
Yeah.
And the people that got a lot of freckles, I don't think are very proud of their freckles.
Yeah, like, do you want to be known as the freckly guy?
Yeah, that doesn't sound like something I want to be.
And then, like, how many people can I name that are kind of freckly? I think zero.
You want to be in that sweet spot where you have enough freckles that you have some, but not enough to where you're known as a freckledy person.
Too many freckles.
There's never been a can of worms they didn't open. The Riot, Radio U.
It is the Riots on Radio U, 8772 Radio U. Obviously, this weekend, a big weekend for movies with the Oscars going on, but you can't forget that with the Oscars also comes the Razzies, the awards for supposedly the worst movies of the past year. I have the winners here, Isaiah. The winner for Worst Picture at the Razzies was Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey, the Winnie the Pooh horror movie.
Well, I could have told you when this came out that this was going to be a huge flop. I mean, come on.
Yeah.
Winnie the Pooh horror movie is a horrible concept.
Yeah. It didn't make any sense. It beat out The Exorcist Believer, Expendables 4, Meg 2, The Trench, and Shazam! Fury of the Gods. You didn't wind up seeing any of those, did you?
It's funny that all the other movies were serious movies. Those were all real movies.
Like with a budget and actors you've heard of and stuff. And
yeah, like Meg 2. That was a sequel.
Yeah. Yeah.
Expendables 4, The Exorcist Believer. These are all, Shazam! Fury of the Gods. They have movies in the past that have had success.
I'm sure it's very likely that each of those 4 movies weren't any good also. But it doesn't feel like they should even be in the same category as Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey, or vice versa. Like, should that movie even be judged as a bad movie when it was clearly just a stupid concept in the beginning? And it probably, actually, as far as money making goes, I imagine that was probably very successful because they probably spent next to nothing on it, and it made money just because of the stupid idea that it is. But it won Worst Picture, Worst Actor. John Voight from a movie called Mercy. I don't even know what that is. But he beat out Russell Crowe from The Pope's Exorcist. Not a lot of love for Exorcist movies this year at the Razzies. Vin Diesel from Fast X or 10. Chris Evans from Ghosted. And Jason Statham from Meg 2, The Trench.
Some big names there.
Yeah. And then Worst Actress went to Megan Fox from the movie Johnny and Clyde. You know what that is?
Not familiar with that one.
Didn't she do a movie with MGK?
Could be.
Yeah, it feels like that. That's what that could be. She beat out your girl Ana de Armas. She was in a movie called Ghosted with Chris Evans. I don't know what that is. Salma Hayek from Magic Mike's Last Dance. Jennifer Lopez from The Mother. And Helen Mirren. Surprisingly, she was in Shazam! Fury of the Gods. There's some of your worst movies.
Megan Fox won 2 Razzies.
This year?
She also won Worst Supporting Actress.
Oh, yeah, I'm seeing that.
And Expendables 4.
Oh, my God.
She won back-to-back.
Wow. There can't be many actresses that... What height she's fallen
in
from.
2 different movies.
Yeah.
That's incredible. Expendables 4, Worst Supporting Actress.
Mm-hmm.
And then Johnny and Clyde, just Worst Overall Actress.
Yeah. The Razzies feel like they've kind of lost any fun that they might have had. It just doesn't feel very exciting. But at the same time, I do tend to believe that if they say a movie sucks, it probably does. And so the fact that Megan Fox was in 2 movies that suck, not saying a lot for her at this point of her career. It is The Riot.
There's never been a can of worms they didn't open. The Riot, RadioU.
I regret to inform you that Alaska Airlines back in the news. And you know that can't be for good reason. A recent Alaska Airlines flight made headlines this weekend because when it arrived at an airport gate in Portland, Oregon, the cargo door was open. The cargo door, which notably, some of that cargo includes passengers' pets.
There were doggos down there?
There was, dogs and cats and who knows what else. Now, the good news is, according to local TV station KOIN, none of the animals were injured when it landed in Portland, Oregon. However, still a bad look for the airline. Alaska Airlines said in a statement that, this is a quote, "There was no indication to the crew that the door was unsealed during the flight, and all indications point to the door partially opening after landing."
After landing?
Yeah, that's what they say.
That's what they're claiming?
That it must have opened after they landed. But them saying there was no indication to the crew that the door was unsealed during the flight, that's not exactly reassuring. Like, what if the door was open and they just didn't have any indications of it? They didn't know. This also feels like a possibility to me. Either way, it feels like this is not the type of thing that should be happening.
But don't you think that there's definitely a ringer in the cockpit that says, kind of like when you start your truck, and then your back left door is open, like it lets you know the back left door is open.
Yeah, but Isaiah, if the door can be open, so can the ringer that says that the door is open.
Oh, so you're saying that we got a faulty ringer and we got a faulty door. You're saying there's 2 issues on this plane.
Yeah, or they never close the door and the ringer is broken, is what I'm saying.
So you're saying 2
If
things.
one thing is broken, we don't know how many things are broken. And clearly they don't either because they keep having things being broken.
Yeah, I can also see that this thing lands and the door kind of jolts open a little.
Sure,
I
maybe.
could see how that could happen.
That doesn't sound like something that also should be happening, though.
No, it doesn't, but it's not the end of the world.
Mm-hmm.
If you land and the door kind of pops open, that's not that big of a deal.
Yeah.
If it was open the whole flight, I would think that how are people's stuff not flying out?
Yeah, you might suspect that. I was also thinking that let's say the door did come open during the flight, or it was never closed, and then they get a notification that the dinger is working. How are they supposed to close it while the plane's flying?
Oh no, you gotta land.
It's
an emergency landing.
Yeah, it seems dangerous to try to send somebody down there to hoist
scale
it
the
shut.
plane. Yeah, I think they're landing the plane.
Right. So I don't know exactly what you wanted them to do, but nevertheless, this doesn't feel like it's going according to plan. and it's the second incident just for Alaska Airlines alone in the last few months, weeks. It's not a good look for them.
And you got to think, who took this photo? Just one of their own workers?
Yeah.
Like, no passenger on the plane could possibly see that the door was slightly jarred open.
This is definitely from the outside.
So is this self-admittance here? Did they come out?
They're owning up to it.
And they said, hey, when we landed, this door kind of popped open a little.
Full transparency.
Just so y'all know.
Your pets could have flown out of the plane while it was landing. They didn't. You're welcome.
Yeah, feels as if this might have been extra. I wouldn't have released this to the public if I was Alaska Airlines. We have enough bad PR right now. We don't need to divulge this out.
Let's try to sweep this under the rug.
For sure.
Add a little riot to your Instagram feed. Follow at RadioU Official. The Riot. Radio U.
There's a little segment we like to call Our 2 Cents, where unlike the rest of the show, Isaiah and I get to share our unfiltered opinions, likes, and dislikes on whatever we see fit. Without further ado, this is Our 2 Cents.
My first one. Yesterday, I celebrated my grandmother's 90th birthday.
That's real nice.
Little birthday party action. I ate so much dessert. I'm on a diet right now.
Yeah.
But yesterday, I didn't eat all day until the party.
Yep.
And then I went to the party, ate an unreasonable amount of dessert, and it was probably the greatest eating I've had since 2023.
So you just went all out.
I went, and it was insane. It was
no holds barred.
It was cake. We had a strawberry shortcake. It's when I go through these, it's gonna be crazy.
Yeah.
Strawberry shortcake. We had that there. I ate that.
Yeah.
We had snickerdoodles. I ate that. Chocolate chip cookie. I ate that. Those little sugary cookies. I think they're peanut butter cookies.
Yeah.
With the Hershey Kiss on top.
Oh yeah.
Ate that. We also catered ice cream. This is a big birthday.
Yeah.
It's the 90th. We catered ice cream. And so I had some mint chocolate chip ice cream as well. And then there's these little Buckeye things. I ate those. There was these little lemon cookies.
Yeah.
I was there for 4 hours. Okay, this wasn't all at once.
Yeah.
This wasn't all at once. But I ate so much dessert yesterday that it felt like I ate no food. I only ate sweets. And today I feel fantastic because of it.
Yeah.
And I feel as if I can't eat dessert for a while.
Yeah, you might want to space it out, but birthdays don't count for a diet.
No, they don't count. So
especially a 90th birthday.
That's something I like a lot.
All right.
I like it a lot. I like it a lot.
I got a problem. I don't understand. St. Patrick's Day is this Sunday, right?
Mm-hmm.
Why are there St. Patrick's Day parades this past weekend? Saturday.
They didn't, did they?
Yeah.
No. That's a big miss.
Yeah. I love to celebrate St. Patrick's. Listen, if we want to turn St. Patrick's Day into Christmas and celebrate it for a month, I'm cool with that. But otherwise, why are we doing parades on a entirely different weekend than St. Patrick's Day?
That makes no sense at all.
Riddle me that.
Yeah, it's on a Sunday.
And then people are next weekend they're going to be like, when's the St. Patrick's Day parade? Because they missed it because it was a week early than it was supposed to be. Meanwhile, there's probably people that had their Saturdays are very disrupted because they're trying to drive through town and a parade's going on for some reason. I don't like it.
No, sir. I didn't like it.
Another thing I don't like, my Lady Buckeyes let me down on Friday in such a horrible way. The first round of the Big Ten tournament and the ladies' hoops on the Buckeyes side get crushed by Maryland, the 8th seed. We came in as the 1 seed. I was unbelievable. I was thoroughly disappointed. The reason I was so disappointed is because I wanted to see Ohio State versus Iowa and Caitlin Clark one more time.
Oh, gotcha.
That was the big thing I really wanted. And so it made me upset when they got knocked in the first round. I was paying attention to the game. It happened at 1 o'clock on Friday. I was paying attention and watching the box score, and I knew it was tight. But then I check a couple hours later, since it was in the middle of the day, and they lost by 20.
Oof.
They're obviously just looking forward to the tournament. They're already pretty much a locked-in 1 seed. But I was just disappointed that they went out the way they did. I was hoping to get the Big Ten outright tournament championship. Still a good season, but I didn't like that.
I remember when they first invented chocolate. I always hated it.
I don't know how to follow that up. Me and Angela, we've got on a little Saturday Night Live sketch kick over the weekend. We were watching a bunch of like some of the best of all time. I love the Debbie Downer Saturday Night Live sketch. That is the best thing. And I've seen that many times and it still can get me like crying laughing. Debbie Downer is, in my opinion, and Saturday Night Live has many great sketches over the years. Debbie Downer, the best character possibly ever to be on Saturday Night Live.
That's our 2 cents.
That's our 2 cents.
Find more Riot content online. Riot.radiou.com.